Hey guys, so I thought I would do a little something new today. I have a very special package that just came in. Let me show you. Alright, here we go. It doesn't look like much. I've been waiting for about a month for this package to come. Officially, this product came out on the 10th. I had to wait a little longer. I had to have it shipped all the way from LA to avoid sales tax. If you hear me, federal government, sorry. So let me open it up for you. Always use a box cutter so that you don't rip up your hands. Go, the only kind of knife I can be trusted with. Gonna make little small cuts, make sure I don't damage the inside. Perfect. Close this up so that I don't stick myself with it. Here we go. Oh, what do we have here? We have popcorn. Thumbnail. Okay, that was stupid, but I'll probably put that in the video just so I get that nice cool thumbnail. We have the brand new A7III full frame. They called it the basic entry level, but it is anything but. We'll go through some of the features that it has and why I'm so excited about it. But yeah, let's bring this little operation to the table. Okay guys, hopefully we don't screw this up. This is the first time I've done something like this. Here we go. Opening the box. Oh, we got a passport to Sammy's camera savings. Shout out to Sammy's. Thank you for the good customer service. Probably a bunch of stuff in here that will encourage me to spend more money I don't have. Maybe in the future, Sammy. In fact, let's throw that over there because I don't want messy here. Okay, I got an invoice with a undisclosed amount of money that I spent. Another passport. Wow, they just really want me to spend money. All right, here we go. Here's the real stuff here. Very important, very important. The limited 1-year warranty. Big deal, guys. Really big deal. Keep that, put that in an important place. We got manuals, more manuals, but let's just pretend like we know everything. Opening the box, okay. Oh. You got a nice little A7 strap. I prefer to use the sling strap only because it is a little easier to use, but alas, we got a lot of empty compartments in here. I think this is the goods, people. Oh, what's in here? Ooh. Oh, it's beautiful, people. Oh, it feels a little different in my hand than even the A7S II. Since this is the 3rd generation of these A7 cameras, I already noticed that the grip, the ergonomic of the grip, is very sturdy. Very nice. We'll go over some of the things about the camera a little later, but overall it's very light, feels good in the hand, beautiful, pristine, brand new. Hope to keep it that way. What else do we got in the box here? We have a AC adapter. New battery. That is significantly larger. So what plagued the Sony cameras, the A7 series in particular, was the battery life. It was just dismal. It would run out after about an hour of recording in 4K, or maybe a couple hours of shooting. This battery is significantly larger. It supposedly will last all day. So we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. But I mean, you can already tell it's larger, so it's gonna have more juice and it's just gonna have more endurance. This is lithium Z battery. It's definitely wider. Cool. And your standard USB-C to micro USB cable, which is a little bit different than the one that I had, which was, I think, USB 2.0. Don't quote me on that though. Cool, that's it. I mean, we're minimal here. I guess we can get into the specifics about the camera, which is, after all, the fun bits. Let me just put this all away so that we have prettiness and no clutter. unbox go? This is kind of like maps. When you're a kid, you're on a road trip, and only your dad can figure out how to fold the map. This is what that kind of feels like. Oh, I didn't do a good job. It closed though, so now I have a pretty little piece here. So let's get started. One big thing about this camera, this is something that gives you peace of mind, is the dual SD slot, which you pop open a little side compartment over here. Now, an SD card, for those of you that don't know, is where all of the files that you record or shoot are stored on. So occasionally, hopefully never, but sometimes the SD card will fail and you will lose all your information on that camera. Now imagine, you've been shooting a wedding, you've captured all those timeless moments. You can't ask them to just have a redo. So pro cameras in general usually have 2 SD slots, and Sony upped their game and added 2 SD slots. So that's exciting. I think one has a faster write speed than the other. If you buy a special expensive card, I don't think I'll need that right away, but it's a good option to have. So that's on the side now, which is also super nice. The SD slot used to be in the battery compartment, which was a pain if you were mounted on a tripod or something like that and you wanted to switch out cards. This battery slot here is underneath. It is much, much larger to encompass this giant battery. And the thing is it doesn't really feel that much heavier. Let's see how we put this in. Okay, that goes in here. Now let's see. The test is, was this pre-charged when it came to me or not? It was. Perfect. Looks good. Everything is functioning as normal. The screen's nice and big and bright. It does not have the fully articulating screen still. Sony still hasn't really gotten on their game there. However, it does tilt back and forth if you're in sunny conditions or you want to shoot from above. You can flip it out like so that you don't have to crane your neck to look at the LCD screen. The viewfinder is still there, which is great. It looks good. I have heard that the viewfinder on this is not quite the resolution of the A7R III and maybe some others that we've been used to. But it looks pretty good to me. I'll have to put it through its paces before I can really figure out what the deal is. Let's go get a lens and put it through its paces. 28mm f2 wide angle lens. We're going to slap that on. There's the release. Throw that on right away. That is a tight fit there. It gives a lot of resistance. It makes me feel like the lens is, oh wow. Wow. The thing about full frame, and one of the big reasons that I wanted to switch up to full frame, is there's no crop factor. Crop factor basically means that the sensor size in your camera, that sensor is the thing that takes in all the light, is a certain size. The bigger the sensor, generally the better the photograph, the better the image, the better quality the video. Full frame is 75% larger than a crop frame. And I've been shooting crop for a couple of years now. Going to full frame, it makes a world of difference. Essentially, when you take a crop lens, you have to multiply it by 1.5 times to get its true focal length. So this 28mm is more like a 45-ish millimeter, which is a big difference as far as how wide that shot gets. A 50 is kind of a mid-range kind of lens, whereas a 28 is truly wide. I can carry this around, I can vlog with it, I can get my environment with it. With 50, not so much. A 50 is more for portraits. The other thing is the depth of field. The depth of field is like that blur that we're talking about. When you focus on a subject and you want everything else to be out of focus, you can just get more variety of shots that way. And the depth of field on this is just 1.5 times better, basically. So, the price tag is 1.5 times more. It's just kind of like, you pay for what you get. Big deal for me though. Okay, so another great thing about this camera is the autofocus. Now, autofocus is something that, some people use and some people don't. Autofocus basically means that when you half press the shutter button, it will determine what the camera is focusing on. And it'll determine that by what setting you have. Now, when you have fast moving subjects, or you're in a low light situation, or like when I'm speaking to the camera right now, the camera is internally thinking about what is important in this frame. Now, obviously I'm on a white background. I have some stuff going on here, but it's mainly focusing on my face, and I don't have to worry about going out of focus. In fact, I can hide and come back, and the camera will find my face again. Now, the camera I'm shooting on right now is the A7III, and it was actually known for its autofocus being amazing. And this is just a step up from that. The autofocus is simply just, I mean, it's the best on the market right now. You literally can press a button and it can detect an eye and stay on that eye. And the eye is the most important thing to have in focus in a portrait. We'll do some tests too later just to see how accurate it can be, because you don't want to miss shots, people. You can have a great shot, it's composed perfectly, they look amazing in it, and you can miss the shot by a millimeter and that eye will be out of focus and then it's not usable. So the eye autofocus, very excited about using that. The A7 III as well as the A7R III, and I'm not sure about the A9, they have a touchscreen just like the A6500 that I was used to. I don't use it all the time, but I think that it is a handy tool if you ever want to rack focus in video, which basically means focusing in and out of certain things in the frame and having that like smooth like transition. On the back of the camera, there is also a joystick, which is new for me, and that's just gonna make navigating the menus, which are sometimes a little tricky, Sony, a little easier. So I'll have to try that out. Everything else looks pretty similar. You have your custom buttons. I'm seeing 4 custom buttons. They moved the record button on the back of the camera, which is in a better place now. It used to be over here, and you would sometimes trigger that accidentally, and you would have like random 3-second recordings that you're like, I don't even remember doing that. So they moved that. Everything else looks the same and similar. Your viewfinder is in the middle. On that 6500, it's on the left side, so that's how you know it's a full frame camera. That's all standard. The little ports here on the side look standard for the most part. Headphone jack. Yeah. Okay, microphone jack is in a different spot than the headphone jack, as well as the HDMI. So this is interesting. They changed the organization of what is in what port. So this is kind of like a monitoring port for you videographers out there. You have your HDMI connection, which you would hook to like an HD monitor or a field monitor. Then you have your headphone port. That's to monitor your sound levels. That's something that is exclusive to full frame Sonys. So that is great. Your mic jack here is in its own port by itself, which is nice as well. And then the last port is your charging port, which is your multi-port, and awesome. Also, there's a little charging light. Cool. Well, I'm excited to take this out for a spin, see what I can get out of it. Yeah, overall, feels solid in the hands, not too heavy. Cool.